Good afternoon, everybody. Hope you're all keeping well on this, again, sunny day up here in Dumfries for another change. Quite warm outside, so I've got the doors open. The dogs might come in at some point, but as long as they can't see you, they won't bark. What am I doing today? What I've got on the lathe at the moment is, I hope it's about 15.5, nearly 16-inch piece of sycamore by about 2 inches deep. So we're going to be turning a platter. It's well spalted, this piece of sycamore is. So some people are going to turn around and say, oh, you're not going to colour that, are you? And I'm going to turn around and say, well, yes, actually I am. Because I can. Right, I'll just bring Mark in. Mark is my earworm today.
Hello.
And there he is. We might have Dale coming in. He's in a meeting at the moment, but we might have Dale coming in. So what I'm going to do, I'll change the camera, see which one's going to be the best. That's the side view. Let's see what the front view is like. I think we'll go for that one to start off with, and then people can let us know what it's like and everything. So we will get on. Stick Mark back in the background again.
Yeah, they don't want to see my ugly mug.
There you go. Everything looks a bit skew if on that. The camera's a wee bit off. Let's see if I can do anything about that. Yeah, that'll do. Right, stick a different tool rest in.
I'll start going through the chat if that's all right, Wayne.
Cheers, Mark.
Right, first in was Colin Roberts.
Hi, Colin.
And then you've got Robert Robertson, Mike Lane, Dr. Bob, Sid's Repurposing, Baz is in.
Hi, Barry.
Mr. Stacey Smith.
Stace.
Circular Wood by Keith. Hello, Keith.
Good afternoon, Keith.
Robert Dolman.
Bob.
Good Turn Daily Blair. Stephen Young.
Hi, Steve.
Glyn Senior's in. Hello, Glyn.
Good afternoon, Mr. Senior.
Rob CP.
Grand. Right, I will just make sure this is tight.
And John Hayes.
Hi, John. There we are, nice and tight. So I'm spinning at that's about 650. I'm spinning that at the moment. Just got it rounded off.
Cornish Pixie's just joined.
Hi, Lee.
Hi, Lee. As always, everybody, if you've got a question for Wayne, if you could put the comments starting with the word question or a couple of question marks, just so it flashes up in the chat so I don't miss it. Jennifer Stroughton's just joined. Hello, Jennifer.
Hey, Jennifer. There we go, that's it. Round it off.
Gerard Dubois has just joined.
Hi, Gerard.
He says, hi all from WT360. Oh, Dale's backstage, Wayne.
Oh, right.
Hello.
Yeah.
Good afternoon.
Before you start
How are you,
again,
Dale?
Wayne, John,
Yeah,
there's a question for you.
yeah.
When turning lid spindles, how thin can you go before it's too thin? Or is it trial and error?
Right. If you have a look at some of the work that Cindy Drozda does when she's doing her finials, she gets very thin when she's
Yeah,
doing her finials.
She goes down to 1 or 2 mils, doesn't she, in
Yeah,
places?
I have gone quite thin in the past. Is it trial and error? I would say it's more practice, John, than anything else.
And also, what looks good with the piece beneath it? It has to fit aesthetically, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Robert Dolman's informing us that he feels he's too hot. Why are you too hot, Robert?
Your microphone's quite muted, Dale. Barely hear you.
Because normally I get accused of bellowing like crying.
Yeah, well, were you used to you bellowing?
Bellowing and bellowing. Wayne is alive.
Hello, Jappy. Damo's in. Hello, Damo.
I just want to decide where I'm going to put the foot, and I've lost all my filling pencils again.
Yes, everybody, Wayne is talking to himself as usual.
As usual, it's the only person I ever tend to get any sense out of.
However, if you hear anyone else's voice in your head while you're responding to yourself, you may want to have a lie down.
Yeah.
So what I've done there is just put a slight dish in the bottom, so it'll actually sit on the foot. And seeing as how I tend to put,
Sorry, Lynn.
seeing as how I tend to put a dish in the bottom, sometimes when I'm using the speed sizer, I can't get it marked out properly. So sometimes I do revert back to using the dividers. Just going to use a smaller gouge just to clean out for the mortise.
Young Glenn Senior is suggesting that it's actually time for you to lie down, Wayne.
Betting Splinters with John has just joined.
Good afternoon.
Actually, I must ask, how big are the splinters, John?
Just clean out the other way.
Demo.
Couple of questions.
Yeah.
What's the best suitable of all softwoods to turn?
Of all softwoods. This is going to sound very strange, this is. But yew is a softwood. Because it's an evergreen. So it's classed as a softwood. But it's probably one of the hardest woods out there. See, you get a lot of hardwoods that are actually quite soft. Lime is a hardwood. That's quite soft.
Cedar's quite soft, but it can be cracky, can't it?
It can. A lot of the fruit trees, although they are classified as hardwoods, when you turn them, especially when they're wet, they are quite soft to turn, quite easy to turn.
And Robert Dolman asked, which is the most useful, cold jaws or Longworth chuck?
Cold jaws.
Cold jaws, yeah.
I think cold jaws. I think that the Longworth chuck can be a bit fiddly to actually get set up.
I would concur. I have a gorgeous 14-inch one, and it just is an absolute arse.
Yeah, what I would go something different to the pair of them and see a vacuum truck.
Do you have a vacuum truck here?
I've got a vacuum truck, yeah. They're absolutely brilliant.
That would depend on the lathe being capable of supporting a vacuum truck.
Mostly is capable of supporting a vacuum truck because mostly is the spindle on the headstock is hollow all the way through, and usually the vacuum is pushed through the headstock. Mine's a bit different. The vacuum truck that I use actually sits on the front of the headstock.
Lee asks what you're making because she came in late. He's making a coloured bowl, platter bowl.
Yeah, platter
thing.
Saying great, no wormholes or musical notes. Not even a didgeridoo today. Young Glenn is suggesting that I should shut it. Dr. Balsa wood is a hardwood too, says Robert Elliott.
Yes, balsa wood is a hardwood. Yes, you're right.
Steve Young's just said yes, he's just set up his vacuum truck.
Maggie Billick's in the chat. Hi, Maggie.
Hi, Maggie.
Steve, you must tell Wayne what the experience is like of being able to set up a vacuum truck.
I like my vacuum truck.
Karen Dolman's just joined.
Hi, Karen. How are you? Is there another Dolman in the chat? Are you perhaps a relation of Robbo? So speaks to the your relation, spouse, partner, or alter ego of Robbo.
And if so, are you actually sitting on the same sofa together and this is the only way you communicate with each other?
Good Ton Daily, Blair's in the chat.
Hi, Blair.
Stephen Young says, made the truck myself from a piece of elm with a bearing and hollow threaded bar. Glen Senior's offering, the only problem with vacuum chucks is if you have to put the finished side to the vacuum chuck, it can mar the finish.
It can sometimes. So, Stephen, have you got your vacuum truck set up to run off your compressor?
Young Doug Miller saying he loves his vacuum truck. Like Wayne, it's on the work side. Need to make a larger plate for it. Stephen Young suggests that the manifold is a few simple airline settings and a vacuum gauge. No through a vacuum pump, he says. Wayne.
Okay.
John Hayes asks, Wayne, what's the largest piece you can turn on your lathe?
On
Or
this
lathes?
lathe, right.
On that lathe, I think he's talking about.
Right, on this lathe, I can turn just under 16-inch diameter over the bed bars. I have got an extension on this, and the extension does drop down lower at the tailstock end, so I can actually bring the headstock all the way along, and that way I can turn a 20-inch bowl on this one. On my other lathe, the VB36, I can turn... Hang on, wait a minute.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun. I'm just going to measure to the headstock.
4.5 feet.
Are those real feet?
Right, it is from the floor to the headstock is 46 inches, which
Was it
means
far off?
I can turn just about a 92-inch bowl on the VB because I can turn diameter all the way to the floor.
Librau is in the chat. Bonjour, Liberi.
Marley's in. Marley.
Hello, Marley.
Hey, Molly.
Jappy's having a pop off. See you later, Jappy.
Bye, Jeffy.
Mike, the Midnight Joke is in. Hello, Mike. Like two goldfish saying hello to each other, isn't it?
Oh, look, there's some wood turning. And 6 seconds later, we go, oh, look, there's some wood turning. Glenn says he needs to get today's shopping organised. See you later.
Shipping.
See you, Glenn.
I suggest that may be too much information, Mike Lang. But thanks for sharing. Coffee and no pants.
Mike Lang is suggesting coffee and no pants. I feel that's an appropriate way to watch much of YouTube, although I don't partake of it myself.
David Hall's got a new lathe arriving on Monday from Axminster.
Jolly good, sir. Which lathe is arriving?
I hope it's the 508.
Mike Lang says, it's No Pants Friday. I missed that memo.
Yeah, I think I might give that one a miss as well. I'm trying to gain subs, not lose them.
John Hayes asks, Wayne, where did you get the inspiration for the shapes when wood turning? From museum pieces, etc.? Question mark.
Not necessarily museum pieces. I do look at a lot of stuff, a lot of ceramics. I've got to say, I do look at, especially with some of the modern ceramicists, if that's a word, because they come out with some really neat ideas. And past wood turners, people tend to think that all the shapes and everything that turners of today come out with. They're fairly new, but they're not. They've been around for years and years and years.
Pinterest is a good place as well. Pinterest is good for inspiration, for shape.
Young Getting Splinters, as John says, mean we were supposed to wear pants while watching Wayne work?
Oh, God.
Mike says, I'm cutting and grinding aluminium, so I'll give No Pants Friday a miss, Mike. Young David Hall says, no Wayne, it's a 406 as the 508 will not fit in the space. Mike goes on to say, I thought there was a general no pants rule.
Pants are optional.
So we need to make sure for our international viewers, pants in this context we believe is the UK version, which really should be prefixed with the word underpants.
Paul Smith just joined. Hello, Paul.
Hiya, Paul. Right, at the moment, Paul, I'm just shaping the bottom of the platter. The platter is just getting up towards 16 inches in diameter. So I'm just doing the shape on the bottom at the moment. And I'm using a push stroke with my half-inch ball gouge.
I feel this is probably a good thing, guys. You can't hear me.
It does sound very muted. Sounds like you're speaking through a scarf.
Same nice as it was using last night. Let's change it. Very confusing.
Bob Crawford has just joined.
Hi, Bob.
Into the headset. Figure out what else is wrong with it.
John Hayes says it looks like it's carving like butter.
It's actually cutting very nicely, John, to tell you the truth. I do like sycamore.
That's what I'm turning this afternoon. Piece of sycamore. There's a question there for you, Dale. Do kilts count as pants or skirt? Or shorts?
A kilt is much closer to a skirt in design, so it doesn't count. So it's no pants. In an American context of the word pants. However, in both cases, we really mean underpants.
Right, I'm just going to put a couple of embellishing lines on here, I think.
I feel the
diamond tipped carbide.
I feel the context here is much more wind in the willows, Mike, rather than there's nothing like a cool breeze in a kilt.
It's like a small breeze wafting through the very short grass.
Speak for yourself.
Yeah.
Rich is in. Hello, Beard.
Hello, Mr.
Hey,
Beard.
Rich.
Everything all right, Rich?
Beard in
Question
the
for
house.
Wayne. Wayne, do you keep all your shavings for future projects?
No, I burn them. I
Wow.
don't really know, for me, what I could use wood shavings in a project for.
Decoration.
because I
Not
don't do,
necessarily on a piece.
mind you, if I'm sending Mark any wood blanks,
Yeah.
I tend to use the shavings as packing.
Yes, you did. Thank you for that.
Uh,
I'm glad I opened the box in my workshop and not my living room.
as long as you swept them up and didn't leave them for Marley at the weekend.
Pass.
Oh,
It's job creation.
really?
If I sweep up everything, he
Really?
won't have anything to do.
Yeah, really?
That's his excuse.
Exploitation is what it is.
Yeah. Child labour.
Rob CP says my first bow was a Rapolo, which I believe is also known as Brazilian lacewood.
Oh, that would look nice.
Brace yourselves, everyone. Wayne's got the drill in his hand. Matthew Gallagher wood turning has arrived. Good afternoon.
Hello, Matthew.
That's it, standard up to 240. I started on 80, went to 120, went to 240. I'm just clearing some of the dust away now.
Snigger.
Shay Lenihan would like to know if you can turn a wooden sporran.
So it is described as spurring.
Well, you could do. It wouldn't be in the actual shape of the sporran, mind. It would
Okay.
it'd probably be spherical.
With a scroll saw on it.
Yeah. Be able to do it on a straw saw.
Or a bandsaw box, perhaps, in the shape of a sporran.
Yeah, that would work as well. I haven't done a bandsaw box for years. Right, what I'm using here is cellulose sand and sealer. It's the Wipe-On cellulose sand and sealer. It'll dry fairly quick.
Wayne, John Hayes would like to know, is it illegal to send certain species of wood by mail?
Only if you don't have the wood's permission.
I think that's something you would have to have a look on sites about. That's CITES. Certainly, if you are sending unfinished wood, if you like, bare wood, there are certain countries that will not let it into the country unless the person has got an import license. I'm thinking the likes of Australia, they're very strict on what they allow in. I think the US as well, to tell you the truth.
The US is extremely anally retentive about agricultural and natural products arriving in the country. David Fingers is in the chat. Young David.
America as well, they restrict certain species
Yeah.
in between the states as well. State to state, not just internationally.
Young Jennifer Stratton has a question. Is there any benefit using a drill to sand over a friction sander?
More power, more speed, less time.
More noise.
More noise, less time. There'd probably be less noise if I went and bought myself a new drill.
Your power drill's almost as famous as you are, though, Wayne.
Yeah. I know.
In fact, he's got a Kickstarter off cameras, I think, well, I always think is quite amusing.
Takes it off its stand, gives it a couple of kicks.
I'm now applying Yorkshire grit.
Job saved.
While it is stationary. It's already
You didn't have to use it, Wayne. He's not here anymore.
Yeah, I know he's got shopping.
So he's, you know, with the power drill, he's got Jane pitting for him off camera every time we'll bring it in, bring it in.
It's a good drill.
Paul Smith has said, question, I think I've decided on my first and only lathe, the Stratos FU230,
Yeah.
and we'd be grateful for your honest opinions. Thank you.
Honest opinions, right? I haven't actually used one myself, but it was the Stratos 230 that Mike Walt had before he went for the XL.
Yep.
And it certainly looked like a very nice lathe to use. Similar in specs to this one, Paul, in that I think it's a 16-inch over the bed. You can buy an extension bed for it, and it's got various points actually on the bed where you can put the extension, so you can turn bigger diameter pieces. Stratos have got a very good name, so yeah, I think it would be.
I seem to remember Mike Walt did a review video of the Stratos.
Yeah, just after he got it.
He did rave about it. He said he loved it. He just got the XL because it was bigger.
So I might be confused here, but didn't he also do Old Spice and Brute?
I worry about you sometimes, Neil. I really do.
Yeah, I'm sure if you look on Mike Walt's channel, there's a specific review video of the Stratos FU230.
I think you've been living down south too long, Neil.
I need to come home.
Definitely.
Soon. Few years, soon.
Yeah, but is Scotland ready for the two of you in the same country?
Mate, it's completely comfortable with it. As a nation, it has to put up with me, Wayne, and Billy. You know, if it can cope with Billy, it can cope with the rest of us.
Where he's planning on moving to will be just about next door neighbours anyway.
In the grand scheme, in the grand scheme of things, at a national level, you're damn right.
You two are never going to get anything done. You know that, don't you?
We will. It'll be just a base case. It'll just be right. That's it. I'm going now. Right-o. Disappear for 3 weeks. Never clap eyes on them.
There'll be leather wingback chairs in his workshop.
Oh no, there's definitely got to be cloth wingback chairs. There's got to be an appropriate amount of whiskey involved, and an appropriate.
You've got to remember, I'm retired now, so.
Yep.
And the conversation will go. I say, Wayne, is he on television?
I say that well, Mark, the gentleman woodturner, is
tell you the truth, Dale, if you walked into my workshop now at this precise moment, you would not believe how much floor space there is.
Good Lord. Good Lord. Evidence may need to be produced later.
Wayne only wants you to move nearby so you can do his workshop up.
Mate, if that would keep me busy for most of my retirement, sorting out his workshop.
Crazy floor and lots of cupboards.
No, we would do a crazy floor. We wouldn't do the crazy floor. No. Just the sheer act of being able to say, "Did you know you've got 18 drills and you've been using that?"
I don't know how
23 routers.
No, Mark, no. I've only got 8.
8. And that's not even a lie.
Going back to Wayne, did you know there's a small group of research graduates that have been here since 1973? They want to talk to you about this theory about how to create new sonnets.
David
Living in the
McLaren's
bubble.
joined. Hello, David.
I said that earlier. You didn't pay
Sorry.
attention. Damn you.
That's right. I said Baz was in earlier and you didn't pay attention.
Yeah, it was Barry. Italy bro.
But
Right,
Baguette
just
carrying
wax was
onion
hooked
smuggler.
up, so it's chestnut products, microcrystalline wax that I'm putting on. I like using this particular wax because it's hard wearing and it tends not to show up fingerprints because it's hard wearing.
Jennifer Stoughton says 52 watching, Wayne.
Thank you, Jennifer. You know, Jamie put out the video last night of me at his place.
Yes.
I got 10 subs overnight.
Cool.
Nice.
That's the bottom finish, guys. See if I can get this off the lathe.
If anybody in the chat hasn't seen it, Jamie Page of JP Woodwork put out a video last night of Wayne in Jamie's workshop, and Wayne actually used a carbide tool briefly.
I've used one today.
He used one today.
Well, he used again.
What?
He used another one. That's two.
I feel Wayne's views and carbides are quite liberated.
I've never said they were bad. I've always said they've got the place.
The right tool for the right job. Doesn't matter
Right
what it
tool,
is.
doing the right job.
Now, for those of you who are fairly new and maybe haven't seen me do bowls and platters before, what I tend to do, I've got a 67mm force and a bit. So I just drill a hole in the top of the piece and it just gets held in the chuck and expansion mode. And obviously, seeing as how you've watched this, you can see that it's quite safe doing that.
Dave McLaren says you'll catch up late, you'll catch up on it. It's hard to watch all the lives on a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I would have to start work earlier at 7:30. I feel your pain, young David. I feel your pain.
Just got a little bit.
I have the same
further
problem.
to
It's a
go
real
down
struggle.
here.
Wayne, while you've got 55 in, do you want to do a quick reminder about next Saturday?
Oh yeah, Saturday the 22nd of August, there is a virtual craft fair going on. It's
Link
been,
in a minute.
yeah, put the link in, deal. That'd be grand. Been organised by Jamie Page and Carl Jacobson. For those of you in the UK, it's starting at 10 a.m. and it's going all the way through to 2 a.m. the following morning. We've got 16 makers on there. A lot of wood turners, but we have got Andy Hill coming in, who's a carver. We've got Heidi Jacobs from Whitehill Pottery coming in, who does ceramics. Dale's going to be in, doing some scroll saw work. I'm not very sure if Jamie's going to be doing scroll saw or turning. I think he'll be doing turning. But the 16 people, Scott Grove's included in as well. Dale's going to put the link in, which he already has done. That's to the website, so you can actually see who's going to be on. And they've got the running order on the website as well. It's going to be a brilliant day. All the makers, they're doing an hour slot on their own YouTube channels. So it's just going to be like I'm doing now, and then I'll pass on to the next person at the end of an hour. People will probably be including earworms. I'll have my earworms in as usual. I'll probably be earworming for other people as well during the day. I've already got it marked in my diary. I've told Jane. Jane is not expecting anything from me that day. So it should be a very good day. And it's not a one-off. It's going to happen monthly. It's going to be done by invite. So Jamie is going to invite the makers to come along and take part. It's not going to be a case of getting in touch with Jamie. So please don't get in touch with Jamie because he doesn't want that. It's going to be invite only. But it should be good.
Couple of questions for you, Wayne.
Yeah.
Barry says, what's the difference between pulling the tool towards you as opposed to pushing it away towards the center?
Not a hell of a lot, really, Barry. I usually push in towards the centre, but this was a wee bit off balance, so it was actually thicker at one side than it was at the other. And sometimes it's easier to do a pull stroke on that to get rid of that. A lot of people prefer doing the pull stroke when they're doing that. The likes of Martin, he tends to do a pull stroke when he's doing that. Mike Walt does as well. I use either or.
I prefer the pull cut.
Mark does as well. I just prefer the push cut.
And a question from John Hayes.
Yep.
I've seen you lay down your chisel on top of your pieces while turning. Why is that?
I'm not with you on that one, John. I don't really understand.
When you're turning it around, you lay the chisel on the top to see if it bounces.
All right.
To see if it's round. I think it must be for spindle work.
Right, for spindle work, yeah. I mean, if I had a spindle on here and I was turning it from square down into round, sometimes I'll put the chisel on and you can actually hear it bounce, so you know it's not round yet.
Just saves you having to stop a lathe all the time.
Yeah, and it's a lot safer than putting your fingers on there.
It's actually an old production turner's trick, isn't it? It saves them having to turn the lathe off all the time. Just keep the lathe running. Turn the spindle around. Tool on the top. If it bounces, it's not round. Take another pass. If it runs smooth across the piece, then you know it's round.
There we go. Let's see what that's like. I've got a bit of tear out here. Now the grain is obviously going across like this. The other one of the other reasons for doing a pull cut is that you're pulling with the grain. With me pushing against the grain here, that's why I'm getting a lot of tear out. So all I'm going to do on that one is just have a quick pass going the other way, still with the push cut though.
So now the grain is supported, isn't it?
Yeah. Now I'm supporting the grain as I'm cutting it. Nice fine cut, so you get nice fine shavings when you're doing that, and that should have gotten rid of the tear out, which it has. So now I'll quickly get that sanded because we are going to be doing some colouring on this. How are we doing on time?
44 minutes, Wayne.
So again, I'm starting off with 80. I just went round and took the sharp edge off. Do one more pass at the 80. $120. $240. And I'm going to finish off at 400. Now, if I was to use Yorkshire grit, I would have just went to 240. And I did do a video last week about colouring over the top with Yorkshire grit, so it can be done. Yeah, that's looking not too bad. So, what my thought was, because of the grain on this, I thought the grain was going to be better than this, to tell you the truth. I was going to do a sort of landscape with a sort of sky and coming down into green for the background, but I don't think the green stands out enough. So I think what I'll do is go with the blue, because I like using the blue.
Can anybody else see that shape on the front there at about 3 o'clock? It looks like a duck walking
There.
off stage. Yeah,
Do you know there's a specific illness for that?
that looks like a duck.
An illness.
There's some nice little bits of ripple here, which I'm hoping are going to come through. Now, whenever you're going to use an airbrush, to save getting any stain on the back, always point it over towards the far side of the wood. That way there's less chance of doing that. If you're using stains, whether it's spirit stains or water stains, don't put sand and sealer on first, because the stain won't go in as far. Let's see what this looks like.
So to your point, Mark, the actual phobia is called anatidyphobia. It's a pervasive and irrational fear that you are being watched by a duck.
Yeah. I've not been well.
A person with this rare phobia fears somehow, somewhere, a duck is watching their every move.
It's actually picking up. You might not see it very well, Brian can see it. It's picking up inside the ripple there, really nice.
I think I can see Donald.
Quack.
You are quackers, the gentleman would somehow.
I've not been well. It's documented.
And nowhere in the notes as it says anatidyphobia. Barry from Real Simple Thing says he feels a bit like that, but it's with frogs.
I'm worried about Barry as well. I think he's lived in France too long.
Blue duck eggs.
Right, I'm just going to slightly knock this back.
Question from Jennifer Stroughton.
Yeah.
What size of jet are you using on your airbrush? As ours doesn't seem to get coverage like that.
I have got absolutely no idea, Jennifer. This is just a set of airbrushes that I bought from Wish. It's a set of 6. I don't know how to adjust them or anything. I just stick the stain in and press the button. I'll do this a little bit in the middle first just to see how it works, because I am going to be taking the middle out of this. Yeah, I think that'll work not too bad.
Rich has got to go. Bye, Rich.
See you, Rich. Thanks for coming in.
Bye, Rich.
And I'll have to do the same in a few minutes.
No
Return to
problem.
the daily grind, I'm afraid.
More meetings.
This one's on something fantastic, such called aged receivables. Which
All right.
basically mean people who haven't paid for my sins. I got all the best jobs.
Now, I'm not overly concerned about getting any coverage on the edge because I am going to be cutting a little bit of that back.
Barry would like to know if you're going to be doing another water droplet bowl soon. They're all
I'm going to be doing a water droplet bowl on that virtual craft weekend, Barry.
next Saturday.
Next Saturday, the 22nd, I'll be doing a water drop bowl. It will obviously have a Blue Peter moment in there. And I'm on at 12 o'clock, 12 noon I'm on. So for those of you in the States, I'm afraid you're going to have to get up and follow Dr. Bob's thing that he does and get your coffee and donuts ready
Cool beans.
for breakfast time.
Mr. Wayne, the ever lovely Julie, and I have to go. Everyone have a great day. Be well, be safe. I'll catch up with you all later. Bye.
See you
Speak to you soon,
See you
Neil.
later,
Cheers.
mate. See you later, Bill. Paul Smith's got a nice compliment. I would like to say thank you to all the professionals for sharing your information to people like me who are only just getting started. It's like one big happy family.
No problem, Paul. It's part of what. It's certainly part of what I'm about.
It's
I
it's
don't-
kind of a dysfunctional family, but it is happy.
It's I don't see the point in when it comes to turning keeping secrets. I do know some people who do.
That's why I do it as well. I'm only a newbie. I've only been turning big stuff since February, and I like to share my learning experience with everyone else as well, and to show people that just because somebody's disabled and maybe not feeling great on a day, they can still get up and make something.
Right, I'm just going to take this back in a bit so we have some natural wood at the edge here. Turn the speed up. This is probably going to go on for longer than my usual hour. I'm sorry about that.
It's all right, Wayne. It's good value for money.
There we go. Now, how big are we going to have the bowl?
Mike, now that we know that you're not wearing any pants, we may have to review that situation.
Let's see what sort of diameter I've got. 15-inch diameter. So if I'm
Wayne, your camera's frozen, mate. Don't know if you can hear me. Bear with us, folks. There may be a shock coming up. I might be appearing on the screen, but I can assure you I'm fully dressed. And David, if you can hear me, the link for next weekend is further up in the chat. So if you cycle up through the chat a bit, you'll see the link. They'll put it in. Oh, well, that's all right, Mike, as long as you keep your socks on. There I am. Told you. Got the qualified earworm t-shirt on today. Thought I'd make the effort. Stop asking me to dance. I can barely walk, let alone dance. How often do I turn? Pretty much every day. I try to set myself a goal to make something, at least one thing, every day. And I get very upset with myself if I can't. Because for those of you who don't know, wood turning for me is, I started as rehabilitation to get over my illness. Wayne's back.
test my mic. That's what I'm fine. Right, this might happen again. An error sign came up on the PC and it switched off. I think it's going to need a bit of a clean out, so I'll try and get this done quite quickly.
Thank you, Ian. Not so sure about that myself, but thank you. I've got to say, I'm very blessed to have some very good friends who have been helping me on my turning journey. Not least of all Wayne, who's given me some valuable tips. Keeps me on my toes.
Yeah, best tip I gave him, don't do it, it'll cost you a fortune.
Keeps reminding me to use sand and sealer. Chris Cox has just joined. No, Chris, not miss much. Just Wayne turning a ball, colouring it.
Just what I do.
Just what he does, yeah. Wayne doing what Wayne does. John Hayes asks, Wayne, do you dry your own wood outside in a makeshift drying box?
No, John. I tend to just cut if it's fresh cut wood, because I've cut a couple of trees down in the garden over the past couple of months. I'll just tend to cut it into length and then seal the ends and just leave it outside. I don't use a drying box. I don't use a kiln. I've often thought of building one of the freezer kilns. I think that would be quite good to do that. But what I do when I'm buying wood, I don't tend to buy bowl blanks, individual bowl blanks. I tend to buy long planks and then process the wood myself. I find it a hell of a lot cheaper doing that. Like the next piece of, sorry, go on.
No, go on. I was going to be flippant.
I was going to say the next piece of wood that I'm going to process, it's a piece of ash, which is about, it's about, in fact, it's not, it's 52 inches long by about 16 wide and 4 inches deep. It has got part of the pith running through it, so I am going to have to process it. But I'm going to get 2, 4, 6, 8, 12 by 2 platter blanks out of that, and a 52-inch length of 4x4 to use for spindle work. And that cost me, it's 2 cubic foot of ash. That's how much it is, and that cost me 70 quid.
Barry says one of the tips you gave me was don't use felt. Yeah, felt is one of Wayne's triggers, apparently. Don't use felt in any of your pieces, people.
Hang on. Just give us a second.
Wayne will hunt you down and beat you senseless.
No. I have actually got some. I was just going to get it out and it fell on the floor. There you are. A whole roll of red felt.
Bloody hell. Rob says, I don't doubt myself, I know I'm bad. Now that's rubbish, Rob, because we've all seen the bowl you made and posted on Facebook, and that was outstanding. That was your first ever bowl, and it was superb. So don't doubt yourself. I know everything you make may not be as good as the first one that you did, but if you've got that in you, then you're on to a good start.
Just checking the depth on this.
Yeah, we won't mention Lichtenberg burning either.
No,
That's
that doesn't get mentioned on my channel.
Lovely shavings. I find sycamore does give good shavings.
It does. I don't know if you noticed there when I was doing that. I might be able to show you better using the smaller gouge. When I'm cleaning the inside of the bowl out, I was explaining this to Ian yesterday. What I tend to do, I'll go in an arc. I'll probably start off somewhere at the center, but then I'll go up and then I'll come back down and finish on the center. I'll see if I can show you. The bed bars might get in the way when I'm doing this, which they are. I'll just get round them. Now I can show you. So I go up, and then I come back down and finish right on the centre.
If you think about a clock face, you sort of start at 9 o'clock on the
Yeah,
centre
start at
line,
9 o'clock.
go up to about 11 o'clock, and then back down to 9 o'clock or 3 o'clock.
And again, I don't know if you'll be able to see them. I've actually got some marks here. Now, what's happening there is that the heel of the gouge is actually, when it's following round, the heel of the gouge is marking the wood. One of the ways of getting around that, it happens more when you've got a swept back grind. I've got a fingernail grind on this one, so it doesn't happen as much. But one of the ways of getting around it is to use a traditional English grind. Traditional English grind, the wings aren't swept back very much at all. So you've got less chance of the heel actually hitting the wood. One of the other things you could do if you are using a swept back gouge is to put another grind at the base of the heel. And that'll mean you've got less chance of marking the wood.
Like a relief bevel.
Yeah. Right. Quickly sand this. It'll not take much sanding. I'm only sanding the inside of the bowl. So I'm just going to start on 120. Hopefully that'll get rid of the marks. And 240.
Yeah, Shay, that's what the relief bevel's for. If you a thin line around the bottom of the bevel, that's a relief bevel. Hey up. Wayne may have to be restarting his computer again. Bear with us, folks. I dare say imminently you're going to get me up on the screen again. Do apologize. No, I won't be singing or dancing. See you later, Doug. There I am. Howdy again. Paul Smith, yes, you can use a bowl scraper. That'll take out the ridges. You might get a little bit of tear out with a bowl scraper, unless you use a negative rake scraper, and then that can reduce the amount of tear out you get. Leaves you with a nice fine finish. Chris, no, I can't play the spoons. I can play the bodhrán, which is the Irish drum, and I'm learning to play the banjo at the moment. I did train as a classical musician when I was younger. I can play the trombone, but it's been 40 years since I played the trombone. Colin, make your own negative rake scraper. I did. It's dead easy. Buy a piece of the flat steel off of Amazon for about £8. Use an angle grinder to shape the tang and then cut your angles on the other end, whatever angles you like, as long as they're an included angle up to 90 degrees. I use 60-30.
Sorry about this, guys. I'm going to knock this short because obviously my computer is playing silly buggers. So I'm just putting a coat of cellulose sand and sealer on. And what I'll do, I'll come back a bit later when we're finished and I'll put on a coat of wax. But I'll just take this off the lathe for now, just so I can show you. I'll swap the
John,
camera.
no, I haven't turned the pool cue yet. Turn the walking stick.
Pool cues are very difficult to turn.
Yeah,
So there you go, guys.
beautiful.
The sand and sealer isn't dry yet. That's why it's looking a bit patchy. I'll leave that to dry. I'll put it back on the lathe and finish it off with some wax.
Some nice spalting in the middle.
Yeah, there is. And there's some nice ripple on the outside, which is being highlighted by the colour as well. I'll get some photographs taken later on this afternoon and get them up on the media. Thanks for coming along. Sorry for the interruptions. I think either my computer is either overheating or it's got a bit of dust in there. So I'll get that sorted out for Monday, because that's when I'm back on. Thanks, Jennifer, Colin, everybody else that said nice things. Much appreciated.
Some good comments.
Enjoy the rest of your day. I've got to go and pick some meds up for Jane now. So I'll probably have to have a clean down first. So I'll be popping out and I'll probably be getting myself a couple of bottles of red for tonight. Because I can't go and hang out sober. If I go and hang out sober, I keep quiet. If I go in drunk, I just abuse everybody, and that's what people are used to.
Yeah. It doesn't feel right if you're nice to us.
Right, guys, I'm going to go. Thanks again for coming along. And if you still like what you're seeing, come back on Monday, and we will do it again. Bye for now. I'm going to hit the button.
Bye-bye, everybody.